Hello everyone and welcome back to the NPC Dungeon. This week's story goes back to Greks, a character who I played not all that long ago, who I've talked about on this channel before. If you want to know more about him, I'll link the video where I talk about him below, but if not, that's okay too. I'll be here to catch you up whenever his backstory comes into play. So, what happened? Well, Greks was a fishman and a cleric, and this campaign started on a boat, which sounds perfect, except that he can't swim, and wonderfully they ran into a storm. He got knocked off the boat, where he almost drowned, and was rendered unconscious. Luckily, his best friend Grunk, a bullywug barbarian who had a combined backstory with him, jumped out and saved him. Soon, everyone found themselves off the boat as it capsized, torn apart by waves, and the four party members ended up bound together on a single piece of driftwood to wash ashore on an island with a dark secret. Almost immediately, they were kidnapped by vampires who poisoned the party in an inn they were staying at, all except for Greks because he wasn't hungry, and as a holy man, he didn't partake in the imbibement of alcohol. He tried to escape, but even his slippery fish body couldn't escape their grapple. He tried to cast command, but that didn't work either, so he was thrown in a cell with the rest of them. And once we escaped, because of course we did, this is D&D after all, Greks was finally able to use his command spell on one of the guards to get them to escort the party across the city, where they ended up at a giant mansion where the patriarch of the vampire family, who apparently lived here, on this island resided, and as long as he was left alive, they would not be allowed to leave. And so they embarked on a quest to get inside and defeat this vampire lord in order to finally be freed from this island. After about 20 minutes of debating on how to get in, they eventually decided to walk through the front door, because of course we did, after convincing the statues to let them pass. Let me just say, you know it's a D&D story when the phrase convincing the statues is completely normal. There were a lot of things like that in this campaign, and honestly, I'm here for it. I love it. But Greks, on the other hand, was not. Kotoas have a tendency toward instability as it is, but take one like Greks, whose entire Kotoa city was destroyed and who is completely hopelessly naive and optimistic, and put him in a world where paintings scream at him, mummies attack him, and weird undead chefs try to turn him into cake, and it shouldn't be very hard to try to figure out what happened. The last one was particularly fun. The moment Greks realized the chef in question was undead, he cast Turn Undead, scared the anxious out of the guy, and left, chucking a bomb that he had apparently found earlier on in this campaign behind him before closing the door on him. He killed a mummy with a ball of radiant light, and did the same thing when he came back, and then he chucked his final bomb into the boss room before they walked in, getting rid of quite a few of his minions. And if you remember, Greks was a trickster cleric, so his channel divinity for his domain was Invoke Duplicity. My DM allowed me to use this like mirror image and make him harder to hit, imposing disadvantage on people trying to attack him. You can also use Invoke Duplicity to flank an opponent and give yourself advantage on attacks. Throw in a guiding bolt, and that vampire lord didn't stand a chance. And anyway, I hope you enjoyed this broad overview of Greks. And of course, thank you all for watching. Feel free to check out this week's other video where I talk about things we can do as DMs while we are not actively DMing a campaign or anything like that, and come back next week where I'll talk a little bit about how I come up with story ideas and campaign ideas and revisit once again the first campaign that I ever told stories from on this channel. But until then, let's learn something.